This incident occurred back in 2008. Mr. Finney is associated with his co-defendant, Mr. Jackson is associated with his co-defendant, Benjamin Finney. They were known drug dealers at the time. How this all got started, his co-defendant, Benjamin Finney's home got what we call straight home invaded while he was there with his female friend. They tied her up. They stole what the street claims is over $100,000 in cash, held them at gunpoint, and then left. Mr. Finney was extremely mad about that. Decided that he would take vengeance and justice because his house had been home invaded and thousands of drug money had been stolen from him. And then that set off this chain of events. An incident that's not indicted here in the county occurred where in the middle of the night a truck was set on fire and shots were fired into a home and a lady was struck in the leg. So ballistics in that case matched the ballistics in this murder case. Mr. Finney learned that he didn't think that that was the right target, so then he turned his attention to a young man named Alfonso Rose, BJ, who basically was running dope for Mr. Finney and realized that he thought it was kind of an inside job at that point. So in February of 2008, there were several different incidents that led up to this. The night of the Super Bowl that year, his co-defendant, Mr. Finney, and the victim's son, Alfonso Rose, got into an altercation. Mr. Finney pulled a gun on him. He snatched a diamond and gold necklace off of his neck, pistol whipped him. Later the next day or into the next morning, BJ Rose and some friends went by some trap houses that belonged to Marlon Jackson and his brothers over in East Macon and shot up the trap house kind of in retaliation. Later that same day, around in the East Macon area, there were several men hanging out, and Alfonso Rose in a vehicle with two other friends came by, and there was a shootout at that point between what we would contend would be Benjamin Finney and Alfonso Rose. The police got involved at that point due to this third shootout. They responded to the area. There was a lookout for Alfonso Rose. He was making contact with the police himself, saying that he had been fired upon. And at this point, that's when his mother, the victim, the murder victim in this case, Gwendolyn Cole, got involved. She came up to the scene. She begged these individuals to tell her where her son went. She wanted him to turn himself in, that this needed to stop, that this was senseless. All this had to come to an end. Later on that night, Your Honor, she was back at her home, and she heard a knock at the door and responded to the door, and someone asked if her son was there. She said no, and then all of a sudden her house was exploded with assault rifle bullets. I mean, just like a war zone.
This is in 2008?
2008. There was an investigation that went on, Your Honor. There was a federal wiretap involved. This individual, Marlon Jackson, is on the federal wiretap, along with his co-defendant, Benjamin Finney, talking about the assault rifles that we believe were involved in this murder. He was charged in federal court with the gun charges from this case, pled guilty to them, was going to testify against Benjamin Finney, but Benjamin Finney finally caught the plea at the end. Then they both went off to federal prison and stayed for, I think Mr. Jackson went for about 2 years, so that's for a period of the time between 2008 and now. He went off on the federal gun charges and spent at least 2 years in federal prison. While he was in federal prison, he talked to several inmates about the murder. And they've come forward and given statements, and they're going to be witnesses against him. So that's why we're here. That's the delay in the case from 2008.